I would love to share a personal story that I
Yeah,
think highlights why this is so important as part
please
of the
do.
podcast here. So, and I'm going to start and finish with the same statement here, but it's necessary for context. So I'll start with I am a big fan of the Starbucks brand. I am a daily drinker. My wife and I are daily drinkers. We love this stuff and we frequent there. Okay. That being said, this is a story about Starbucks. So about 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, I had a friend fly into San Francisco International Airport. It was early. She says, "Oh my gosh, I could really use a cup of coffee." And of course, I said, "No problem. There's a Starbucks nearby." So we go to this Starbucks, park the car, and start to walk toward the front door. And a very curious thing was happening. The line out the door was about 18 people deep up to the counter. Now, that's pretty substantial, in a retail environment, right? So it took us about 7 or 8 minutes probably to get up to the counter, which that's a long time in retail years, right? And as we were nearing the counter, I looked over to the mobile order pickup line. And what do you think I saw there? Happy customers grabbing their drinks, quickly moving out the door. Well, that's what we would have expected. Unfortunately, in this case, that line was also about 20 to 25 people deep out the door. Now, as I'm observing this, those people were not happy because they had an expectation that they were going to come in very quickly, get their coffee, drink, food item, and then leave. But they were still standing there. It didn't take much longer before I found out why everybody looked so agitated. So I got to the front counter and they got our coffee order wrong, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Oh boy.
And it took a while. And as we waited 10 minutes to get our food item that we had been waiting for,
Hmm.
I finally inquired where that item was, and we were informed that they had run out of that item about an hour prior.
Oh,
So, as a consumer, you can put Dr. Killian in the not happy customer
hmm.
column there. However, as an organizational psychologist who studies human behavior in the workplace, this was fascinating. So
Right.
I wanted to know what the heck was going on. And
Yeah.
so we sat there for about 30 minutes drinking our very cold cups of coffee
Ah,
and just observing. And, there were a few things that were pretty evident from what happened. First off, they had supply chain issues, so back of the house problems. So in this case, they didn't have all of the items that they should have had in stock to be able to deliver and meet the expectations of the customers. So that's a problem in and of itself, right?
right.
Second, their technology was down. And so right in the midst of the rush hour that it was, the tools, processes, systems that they actually needed to adequately fulfill customer orders and to do that in a timely manner wasn't allowing them to get their work done. So front of the house issues. And then to compound everything, it was very evident that the store manager was brand new to her role, and so was everybody else on the team.
Mm.
So you had a situation where there was nobody who had been in the trenches or been there, done that, and had a workaround or a suggestion about how to improve the experiences that everybody was having. Now, I'm a big believer, if you think service profit chain kind of stuff, I'm a big believer that the employee holds a very critical role because every organization out there, yours, mine, Starbucks, has a brand. That brand is delivered through products and or services by the employees to the customers. That customer experience then comes back around and either has a positive or a negative impact on that brand experience. In this case, those employees had the opportunity to be the hero, but instead they were the zero. So not only were they not able to deliver on the expectations that all of us as customers had, but they were in a state of duress. And as we all know, when you're in a state of duress, sometimes you say, do, and act in ways that, aren't really conducive to a great customer experience. So they were a little bit snarky with us because they were under stress. Again, big fan of the Starbucks brand, but it's a really great example to share. And I tell this story frequently because if you think about all of those moments across that example that I just shared, there are critical points that needed to be addressed in order to enhance the employee's experience and empower them to deliver on the customer experience, right? So that store manager could have stood up on the counter and said, folks, this is not a good day for any of us. We are so sorry. We're going to make it up to you. We're going to give everybody a $10 gift card on us. We really apologize. Please do come back and see us. That didn't happen, but it could have. Yeah. And as I think about that experience, first of all, even as a fan of the brand, what are the odds that I'm ever going back to that particular Starbucks store?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
If I had been in a position to have had multiple experiences like that each time that I went to a different store, then I become a brand basher, not a brand ambassador. I'm like, hey, I'm not going there ever again. And so, I think about this because I am a fan of Starbucks, and they have been a customer of mine for quite some time, by the way. And, they even told us that if you think about that issue of the experience of having a brand new manager with all new team members as well, Starbucks has indicated that their scheduling system is a $1 billion problem that they're trying to solve for. So the experience that these partners, as they call employees, are having, think about the experiences that they are having when they're trying to schedule a shift. What if they have multiple jobs? What if they work in multiple stores? What if they have a long commute, or they're in school, or they have childcare responsibilities, or they have preferences for opening versus closing, right? So understanding those issues or those moments across their own partners, employees' experiences could have helped to staff up the right people in that store to make the experience for the customers a little bit better.